Jump scare! Jump scare! Hello, gamers! Hello! Hello, good people. It's been a bit. Old man jump scare, no! Not again! We already did that! That video came out yesterday. We don't need to do old man jump scare again. We don't need to do old man jump scare again. That was yesterday. In yesterday's video, did you guys watch yesterday's video? I posted it. I posted yesterday's video. Did you guys watch it? Anyway, hello, good people. Hello, good people of the YouTubes. How are we doing? It's been a bit. Can we talk about how it's been a bit? I'm just taking a little sip. I told myself I was gonna take a nap before streaming, that I did. I think I took a nap with my mouth open because my mouth is really dry. But yeah, so welcome to stream. It's been a bit. It has been a bit. I had to go in and like change up my what's the word? My AI, my UI, not AI, God, my stream UI, because it was still set up for stuff after I did my San Japan stream, and I'm like, oh my God, is that the last time I streamed? And the answer is that yes, it was. The last time I streamed was right after San Japan, which was a month and a half ago. But don't worry, guys, I have a very good reason for why that happened. I was tired. I was eepy. Okay, technically two reasons. One, I was just kind of tired, unmotivated, whatever, just feeling kind of meh about stream. The more prevalent reason is honestly, guys, I'm writing a book and I'm having fun. I'm having fun, and like every free moment I've had is like, ooh, I have free time this afternoon. I could go to the library. I could go to the library and write in the library on my little iPad with my little keyboard. I could go and write my heckin' book. If I wasn't streaming right now, I'd probably be, well, no, today in particular, I would not be at the library because I have fallen behind on my schedule a little bit because I had to do a thing yesterday that took up like half the day. And so I am a little bit behind today. So if I was not streaming right now, I would be working on finishing this week's comic pages. Because usually I'm done by now, and I'm not. And it's fine. I'll be able to catch up pretty easily next week. But just a little bit of added stress for the star is I don't like finishing a work week without all my work done. And I'm just like, bite. Bite. Yeah. That's the situation. But yeah, book is happening. That I technically started it right before San Japan, but I think I've only posted finished chapters since after San Japan, after the last time I streamed. Have you guys read them? I have 2 chapters of Azure Mirage posted for the public. You guys read them? You legally have to tell me if you read them, because I want to know. I want to know if people read them. Yeah, go read them. They have Dave. Well, okay, I guess technically Dave doesn't come in until Lapis's 2nd chapter, which is only available for patrons right now. But Dave is in the 1st chapter of Lapis's. Technically, he's in it, but we don't interact with Dave until the 2nd chapter. Where can I read it? I posted them on Patreon. The first 2 updates of both Lapis and Laz's story are available for free on Patreon. Non-patrons get the Be Gay Do Crime chapter that they do. See, the thing that happens sometimes is if your main character, one of your main characters, is an assassino, you do have their first chapter be them committing crimes. Like murder. I love free, I'm very broke. Yeah, and a lot of people are, but it's just like, I wanted to let people get, at the very least, a sneaky peek of the sort of thing that I'm working on. I think I'm gonna keep most of the chapters behind the Patreon paywall for now. Just because, like, it is very much a first draft still. But it's like, you know, I could just not post them to anyone at all while I'm still working on the first draft. But my thing right now is that I want to get more feedback on my prose because I'm so new at it. I'm like, I'm still learning how to do this. And so having like some people who maybe read a little bit more than me, who have like insight about the sort of medium that I'm tackling, would be helpful. I'm essentially power leveling. I'm putting my work out there and I'm saying like, okay, hey, how's this look? And I'm like turning to my patrons, and patrons so far have been very generous with their feedback and been like, this bit's weird. You should probably do it different. And this other thing is weird. And I could be like, cool. And then go back to my little workshop, go back to the library, and continue my business. But yeah, I'm probably not going to post any more chapters publicly until I get a more finished version. Just because I'm kind of in that stage right now where I'm still kind of figuring out the story as I go. And it's not going to be a polished product until after I get at least one full completed first draft. because then I'll have a better idea of like where the story is going, where the character arcs are going, what I'm doing with A, B, and C plot lines, all that jazz. But I still like being able to get feedback. At some point, I'll probably stop posting stuff to Patreon and just like make a dedicated Discord server for all my beta readers. But right now, most of my beta readers are on Patreon anyway, so I'm just like, you know what? Whatever. Whatever. Dave is the MVP of the book. I will not elaborate on why, but that's not a joke. Yeah, no, Dawn, no spoilers. I've been telling Mod Squad spoilers about Azure Mirage. Because it's not like Castoff where it's gonna take 10 years to finish, which is wild to me, by the way. Here's a cool thing about writing. Is that you can just write something and then it's done. Like, okay, so in Castoff right now, the scene, the chapter of Castoff that I am currently posting, that I'm currently working on and posting, chapter 13. Chapter 13 of Castoff has so many moments in it that are moments I've been kicking around in my head for like multiple years at this point. There's some moments where like some of the books or some of the scenes in this chapter are like that. Like the one that patrons got last night, that one line of dialogue on that page, it's one that I've been sitting on for like 5 fucking years. And the Zara name drop, like we finally got the Zara name drop, that I've been sitting on that secret for close to 15 at this point. And it's absolutely wild. But I've been sitting on those moments for so long because comics take so long to make. It's like I have to write it and then I have to draw all that, and I can't really draw more than 2 pages a week at my current workload. And so it's like, it's absolutely wild to me that if I hit a good clip on Azure Mirage, I could be, you know, daydreaming about these scenes that I'm drawing right now, and they could be in a fully readable, like edited and good looking readable, like release in a year. And I'm like, what the fuck? That's too fast. That's too fast. Yeah, writing is crazy. It's very cool, but it's also a little scary. It's like, whoa, it's so fast. And I feel like one of the things that's troubling me with Azure Mirage right now, troubling is maybe exaggerating a little bit. But see, like with Castoff, some of the plot points that are coming up, that are going to come up, etc. in the near future, is stuff that I've been kicking around for a couple years at least at this point. And so like I had time to really percolate on those ideas. And with Azure Mirage, it's like, okay, well, I should probably have a scene where the characters do this. I should probably have a scene where the characters do this. And then I just write it into the story and I'm like, but what if this is not the best version of itself yet? And it's kind of scary because it's like, I'm sure that, you know, as I continue poking at it, it will eventually become the best version of itself. But it's like with Castoff, I have so much time to think about it before I ever put words on the page. And I have less percolation time with the way that I'm writing AM. So it's a little scary. It's a little different. It's a little scary, but it's like the fun kind of scary. It's a roller coaster kind of scary where it's like, this is fun. I'm having fun, but worry about that on draft 2. I know, Dawn. I know. Guys, Dawn keeps yelling at me. This is mod writer abuse. She keeps yelling at me. Because I was talking about this in mod chat a few nights ago, but it is almost fucking comical how much I just keep hitting every single trademark, like, new artist speed bump in the most predictable fashion. It's almost fucking hilarious. And it would be hilarious if it was not so infuriating. Like, how much I am hitting every single speed bump in the most predictable ways possible. Where it's like, if I was making a comic, if this was intended to be a comic, I would be having no problems. But the fact that it's prose means that I am tripping over every single one of these hurdles. I am tripping over every single one of these hurdles that I thought I got over years ago, and I did get over them years ago with comics, but this is a fully new medium, which means I'm gonna get writer's block because my first draft is not coming out perfect, and it's gonna make me not want to write for like 3 days because I'm like, this thing I'm writing is bad and I don't want to work on it anymore, and I'm like, I should just keep working on it because it has to exist. I just have to write the bad first draft first, and then my hand rebels as I'm typing. He's like, but if it's bad, then we shouldn't write it. And I'm like, get back on the page, you dense motherfucker. And it's just like, it's all stuff that I give my viewers shit for. And it's all like advice I put into my freaking videos where it's like, listen, sometimes you just have to have the first draft that exists and then you go back and you fix it later. It's okay. You can go back and fix it later and just do all this stuff. And then it's just like, oh no, now I must take my own advice. This is hard actually, and maybe I'm a fraud. But I am sticking to my plan of trying to get a good amount of progress on a first draft done during NaNoWriMo next month. I think next month my video is going to be the edited version of that question about that webcomic Q&A stream I did a while back. Because that's already recorded, I just have to edit it into a nice looking final product. Add music and whatever. Because if I don't have to focus on video production for November, then I can focus more on writing. And that will be good for me. I am also very hypocritical when it comes to giving advice. I will be sure to bully you about that. We bully each other. It's a mutual relationship. Bullying for the common good. The common good of putting our sad little blorbos on the page. Bullying gives me motivation. Understandable. I will bully the shit out of you then. Hey, Don, what the fuck? Donathan! Donathan! Oh my god, so speaking of making bad art, I have a story. You guys. It's unrelated to what we've been talking about, mostly. But I have a story from yesterday evening. So, in my new neighborhood, I have some next door neighbors, and these next door neighbors have 2 kids. One is in middle school and one is in elementary school, and the elementary schooler is their daughter. And I learned pretty quickly after moving in that she really likes art and she really likes to draw. And so at one point when I was talking to her, I said, well, if you ever want to play with some different art supplies, I get sent free art supplies from like companies all the time. So if you ever want to come over and play with art supplies, you just let me know. And that was several months ago. I didn't think she was ever going to take me up on that offer. And then last night, I'm in the middle of making dinner, and she and a friend come knocking on my door, and they were like, hey, a while back you said we could play with art supplies. Can we do that? And I was like, okay. So I just set her and her friend up in my living room. I gave them those paint markers I just used for the sponsorship video yesterday. I just like set all this stuff out on the coffee table. I had like a couple of old sketchbooks where I probably wasn't gonna draw in them. And they only had like 1 or 2 pages drawn in them from like Baby Star. Drawings that were like very old, and I did not care about the small children messing up. And so I just like set them up at my coffee table with a bunch of just art supplies, and I was like, there, go. I'm a bit concerned her parents just let you go in her house. I know her mom. I have her mom's phone number. And so I did text her mom after they came over. I'm like, hey, just so you know, your daughter's at my house. And she's like, oh my God, I am so sorry. I'm not home right now. And I'm like, it's okay. They're having fun. Just let me know when I should send them home. It was kind of funny. But no, the mom knew where they were, and they only stayed like an hour. But yeah, and so they were just like sitting in my living room and drawing, and I was like, so what kind of stuff do you guys like to draw? I was in the middle of making dinner, so I'm like talking to them from the kitchen, and they were like, video game characters, and I'm like, what video games? And they were like, Roblox, and I'm like, yeah, I freaking bet. I bet you play Roblox. I'm adopting all the little baby artists, and I'm letting them play with paint markers. But what happened is that we were just kind of sitting around, and we started talking about my old art. And I was like, listen, you two are still very young. You have plenty of time to get good at drawing and practice. And so I was trying to, you know, like encourage them, because they're in 5th grade. And I was telling them like some of my very first, because, okay, so the child has read my webcomic. The child has read at least the first 4 chapters of Castoff, because I gave her mom a copy of volume 1. So she has been a fan ever since then, apparently, but I haven't talked to her since then because I just keep missing her. And so she's like, by the way, I really like Castoff. And I was like, oh, thank you. And so they know that I'm an artist. They know that's like what my whole gig is. And I was like, well, you know, I made like my very first comics I made when I was you guys' age, like 4th or 5th grade. And they were like, whoa, really? And I was like, yeah. And so I went and I dug out like some of my old, like my very first attempts to make a comic. They were done at a sleepover on like notebook paper that I ripped out of a composition book. And I just drew with no script, no plan, just vibes. And the art's real bad. And I thought it would be fun to show it to them. And so I brought out like my very old comics and I showed it to them, and they were reading through them, like actually reading them. I'm like, I don't remember what's in these, but considering I wrote them when I was in 4th grade, there's not going to be anything like weird or whatever in there. And so I showed them my old shitty comics, and they went like, wow, these are bad. And I was like, hey, I am allowed to be mean to Baby Star. Y'all aren't. This is what I drew like when I was your age. And they were like, yeah, why do their heads look like that? And I'm like, shut up! They were bullying me. They were being so mean. I'm like, if you're mean to me, I'm not gonna let you play with my markers anymore. And they were like, no, we'll be nice. And I'm like, yeah, you better. It was very funny. And did give me an idea for a future video. I don't know when I will do it, but at some point I think it would be very fun to go back and redraw some of those old Baby Star comics. Just for shits and giggles. I kind of want to try, and I think it would make a good video if and when I did. So, I don't know when I would do that. Probably not until next year. We all spawned at Star's door. Can we play with your markers? I mean, that's basically what they did. They just showed up on my doorstep and were like, hey, can we play with art supplies? And I was like, yeah, come here. And I like dragged him in my studio, and I'm like, okay, let's play with these. Let's play with these. And I was just like grabbing stuff off the shelves. And I'm like, and I've got these markers, and I've got these pens, I've got these. And I just plopped them all on my coffee table, and I set them down there with like an old sketchbook that they could use because they didn't bring their own. And I was like, here, play with these. And they were like, okay. And they were real awkward at first, because we hadn't actually talked that much. But after I was finished cooking dinner, I went in there and I was just like, you know, sitting at my desk, and they were at my coffee table, and I was just like sitting there talking to them. And they warmed up after that, but I was just like, little children, you just came over and I have to play with all my markers. I'm gonna let you do it. Yeah, it was funny. It was very funny. And they only stayed like an hour, but they ended up leaving the drawings that they did in that book. Oh, and then that was another thing that happened. We were talking about comics, and they ended up starting to script a comic just in my living room, in like this other sketchbook that I brought out for them. And they were like, "Oh, well, we want to finish this, but my mom just said we had to go home." And I was like, "Here, tell you what." And the sketchbook I gave them was one that I've had for a while that has like paper that falls out really easily. And so I was like, "Here, take this." And then, because they said they were gonna have a sleepover, and I'm like, "When you guys are done with the sketchbook, you can like take as many pages out of this as you want. And when you're done with it, just bring it back to me tomorrow." And they were like, "Okay." And then they did return it tomorrow with a third of the pages missing. And I was like, "God damn, y'all did do a lot." Teaching the next generation of comic artists. Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I was journaling last night and being like, I wonder if this is going to be a formative memory for them. That would be very cool if it was. Because I remember some of like my earliest comic making memories. I'm just like, wow, that has the potential to be like core memories for baby artists. And I'm just like, oh, that would be so cool. That would be so cool. I hope they remember this and they have fun making something. Because like some of my first comics were like made at a sleepover. Just like I stayed up really, really late with a friend and we just made comics on notebook paper and we had so much fun, and I still have them. I've kept them. It's been 20 years. Longer than that. It's been like 25 years at this point. And I still have them and I look back on them fondly, and it's like, I don't know if I would have gotten into making comics if it hadn't been for these. And I'm just like, ah. Oh. A little nudge is all it takes a lot of the time, and I hope to provide those nudges to many people. And they're retelling 20 years from now, Star will be the cool neighbor baking cookies in the kitchen while they drew. I wish I was doing something like making cookies. I was not. I was making sloppy joes because it's lazy week. It's lazy week, and I only have like 4 meals that I know how to make, and sloppy joes is one of them. So that's what I was making. Actually, I think I'm gonna draw Frankie Cat on another layer. I think I'm gonna draw all these cats on another layer. Oh yeah, I still haven't talked about what we're drawing yet. So this is what we're drawing, by the way. When Castoff was very, very new, people occasionally would make the typo cats off instead of Castoff. And at one point, a very, very long time ago, like within the year of the comic starting, someone sent me a Tumblr ask that was like, I keep typoing Castoff as cats off, and now I just keep thinking, what if the comic was about cats? And I was like, I remember way back in the day. Do I have it? Hold on, I might still have it. I have it! I made this! I photoshopped one of the pages of the comic with photos of cats. I made this like 10 years ago. And now it's real. Now it's real and I'm drawing it for real. I haven't seen this one. It's ancient enough that it's so ancient that Donathan, Castoff librarian, does not even know about it. Incredible. But yeah, so this is Cats Off. But now we're doing it for real. And because the theme for next month is cats for the mail club. So I'm drawing all the characters as cats. Here, I have the sticker sheet as well. One moment. Un momento. Look at these creatures. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. They're just kitties. They're just little kitties. They're just little kitties. Little kitty cats. And so I'm doing something different for Mail Club next month. This is actually, instead of doing like 2 full-size stickers, I'm doing a sticker sheet with the stickers on it. And so this is gonna be the November Mail Club for my Patreon. If you want this, don't join the Mail Club yet. If you join the Mail Club in October, you will get October's Mail Club set. If you want this one, you gotta wait until November. But I will be making a lot of announcements about it, so don't even worry about it. Okay, I am recording the time-lapse, good. But yeah, and so this is going to be the print, and we're going to draw basically the entire cast as cats, except for Sage, because this is an alternate universe wherein Sage cast the Castoff spell instead, and now he has to deal with the consequences, aka 9 cats. Maybe 10. I feel like this upper shelf needs like a cat butt on it or something, so I might add something there, but yeah. Gonna be behind Frankie Cat. I feel like Frankie Cat's is the easiest to tell which one he is because he's only got one eye. He's a freaked out little alley cat who's getting scared of the water, is being pushed over by Rory Cat. Luca Cat butt, I know who you could put there. Yeah, I bet you know who I could put there, Holly. I still don't know who this Luca guy is. I still don't know who you keep talking about, because it's crazy that all of you guys have just hallucinated this character and keep insisting that he's in the comic when I'm pretty sure he's not. It sounds fake. You guys shouldn't lie to me, that's illegal. He's literally in the comic now. No, he's not, I don't believe you. I think that you guys are still lying to me. This sounds suspicious and fake and not real. He's in there twice. No, I don't think that's true. Guys, I drew this whole comic. Do you think that I would misremember which characters are in it? I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true. I think you guys are making it up. I think you guys are making things up to make me look like a crazy person, and I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate you guys. Start gaslighting the audience. I would never gaslight people. Don't tell them that. Don't tell them that. You make me sound like an evil, bad person. I would never do that. Why are you lying? Why are you lying to me? Why are you lying to my beautiful audience right now? You're being so mean. Gaslight gatekeeper girl boss. I would never gaslight. I am a girl boss though, that is true. Hey bestie. You wanna join my pyramid scheme? There's part of me that's like, man, can't believe that I'm in my early 30s. I still haven't had any weird girls from high school come at me and try and get me to join their what does MLM stand for? Not the gay version. Multi-level marketing! I was like, it's not man loves man. In this context, that's not what it is, but I can't think of what the fuck it actually stands for. Multi-level marketing is what it stands for. It's like, damn it, I'm in my 30s and I haven't had a single person come up to me and be like, hey bestie. And I'm like, yeah, because I barely talked to anyone in high school. I would be like a perfect target for their bullshit. And then I remembered that my Facebook account got hacked and deleted, so even if they wanted to, they probably couldn't. Stands for man loves marketing. Yeah, it does. You don't live in Utah. No, but I live in Texas, which is basically very similar. It's a different Mormon quantity, but you get the idea. Unrelated, but what are Laz's pronouns? Laz's pronouns are murdered. No, I'm kidding. So Laz is an interesting case. I'm kind of farting around with Laz. I'm thinking that Laz might be doing some gender questioning as Azure Mirage goes on, but that's one of those things that's going to kind of... That's something that's gonna coagulate together as I work on the story. But for the most part, I would say any pronouns are okay for Laz, but when I talk about Laz, I'm gonna be using either she or they for the most part, but I think that Any is okay for right now. Laz's big shrug. Laz's big shrug. Why did I think you were older than early 30s? See, a lot of people think I'm younger. A lot of people think I'm younger, and that makes me giggle. It makes me have a giggle time. It's very funny because I keep meeting people who are my brother's age and they think that I'm younger than them, and I'm like, oh, you sweet summer children. You're the age of my baby brother. How's that feel? You aren't 26? What? No! What? Okay, tell me where you go. I'm not being, like, mean. I genuinely want to know where you got that number from. I genuinely need to know where you got that number from. Because this is a misconception that a lot of people have, apparently. Is a lot of people think that I am younger than I actually am. It was random? Oh, man. That's not helpful for my scientific analysis. Shit. Vibes? You give kind of like 26 vibes? Is this why June thought that I was younger than them? It was very funny when June and I were hanging out. We started talking about like early YouTube. And I was like, yeah, well, you know, cause like I made a YouTube account like the first year it was active. And that was, cause I can't remember exactly how the conversation came up. I think we were just like talking about how we both like kind of got started in early YouTube. And I was like, yeah, I think I was just like, I was a little too late to get on the Warrior Cats train. I feel like that was just like I was just a little out of that age demographic. But I remember making a YouTube account like the year it came out, and that's when I started uploading my first little, I would hesitate to call them animations because they weren't really animated, but you know, whatever. And I was talking about, it's like, you know, I started posting my first videos and they were just like really these like badly made AMVs. And I was doing that when I was like in middle and high school. And they were like, wait, how old are you? And I'm like, I'm 33. How old did you think I am? And they were like, I thought you were younger than me. And I said, baby child, itty bitty baby, smaller than a grain of rice. That was a line I kept using on the kids yesterday. Whenever they were mean to me, I was just like, you are so little. You are so small. You are an itty bitty baby child, smaller than a grain of rice. And they were like, no, we're not. We're way bigger than a grain of rice. And I'm like, no, I think I think you could sit on a grain of rice and be quite comfortable, actually. Making me feel too old to be here, right? Star is a friend to all ages, but I will just go ahead and say Star is in her early 30s. I think I'm allowed to say I'm in my early 30s for one more year. And after that, I must graduate to my mid 30s. Technically, it's only like 6 months-ish. Blow their little minds with floppy disks. See, I'm young enough that I never actually used floppy disks to save documents, but my dad was in IT when I was a little kid, and I do remember at one point he let me take a floppy disk apart. Did you guys know that they call them floppy disks because inside the little cartridge there is a little like thin plastic disc that is floppy? It's like this little piece of like plastic that's like very, very thin and you could go with it. And you go Is that the only reason? I don't know. I don't know if you need a second reason. Cause yeah, by the time I was like old enough to be taking documents back and forth to school, we had like little flash drives. They did not hold a lot, but we had them. Tier the Weird, thank you for the super chat. I made a redesign for Charlie from Hasbin Hotel. I made her chubby, it just fit her personality. Also, first time here. Well, welcome. I hope you enjoyed us stream. We're talking about floppy disks. But yeah, it's just interesting. I know that a lot of the AI generated articles about me think that I'm like early 20s because I misspoke in a video, and I corrected it on like the video feed, but I didn't re-record the audio. And so I think a lot of like the AI scrapers are just looking at the video transcripts and being like, oh, well, she was this old in 2019, then she's this old now. And so a lot of, if you ask the internet, a lot of them think I'm like 23. I am not 23. That is incorrect. Are you old enough to be on your own Discord? I don't know. I think I might be the size of a grain of rice, actually. I think I might be small. I'm not small. I'm 5'10". I'm very tall. It was funny yesterday. I had to take my brother to a doctor's appointment because he needed a ride home. And they were like getting all of his basic info. They were like, how tall are you? And my brother's like 5'9". And I had to interrupt and I was like, bitch, you're not 5'9". Because I'm 5'10" and you're an inch taller than me. You're 5'11". And the nurse was like, well, we don't do anesthesia based on height and weight, so you're fine there. But he just gave me this look, and I'm like, how do you not know how tall you are? Rolls my eyes at him aggressively. I'm gonna add so many cat scratches to this this couch eventually. Okay, so this line art layer is Sage in his chair. And I'm gonna make a new layer. It's gonna be all the cats. Characters, how do you choose heights? Vibes. Vibes. That's it. Okay, so we're starting with Leon Cat down here. Leon Cat has very cute little round ears. I thought it fit them. I was a little bit worried about this print because I don't draw animals very often. And it's to the point where I'm kind of stuck in the cycle of I'm bad at drawing the thing, so I don't want to draw it. But I know I'll get better if I practice. But I don't want to practice because I know that my drawings are going to be bad. But I know that I have to practice to get better. But I don't want to practice. I don't want to draw a thing that's going to look bad. And it just circles the drain forever. And so I'm not very good at drawing animals. But I want to draw kitty cats. Just draw about. I know, shut up! I know! I know. It's like I have two beautiful cat daughters who would, I'm sure, be able to model for me. But I just, ooh, scary. Scary. Anyway, little Leon Cat, or not Leon, Liam Cat. Oh my gosh, I do have to tell you guys this story though. Mods already know this story. I told you guys this, but... Guys, do you ever meet a human person who looks like one of your OCs? Do you guys ever meet a human person and the first thing you think when you look at them is, holy fuck, you look like the fictional Blorbo that lives in my brain? I went to get my car inspected the other day. I went to get my car inspected the other day, and I swear to God, the guy who did my car inspection looked like if Leon was a human man. And I'm like, oh my God, who is this hot boy? Who is this hot boy at the car inspection place? Hello? Hello? And it's like, yeah, okay. Do I actually care about him because he's attractive? Not especially. I care because he looks like one of my OCs. Like, if you bleached just the top of his hair and gave him pointy ears and stupid little glasses, he would have looked so much like Leon. It was not even funny. And I just kept thinking about it. And he had kind of like these cool earrings. And so next time I draw Leon, I think I'm going to give him those earrings. And I'm just going to say, I stole these from the guy who did my car inspection. It was very funny. And I was like, I can never tell anyone about this. I can never tell anyone that this happened, she says as she tells the entire internet. And then you tell the whole internet, and then I did tell the whole internet. I hope he cosplays Leon one day. God, what if he... There's always part of me that wanders. Like, when I meet people. Just like, I wonder if this is a person who would ever know who I am. Because I've gotten recognized in public enough times that is now something I have to think about. I've gotten recognized multiple times just out and about in public spaces. Just by my voice. And that's really weird. Because, you know, okay, getting recognized by my voice at conventions when I am sitting there in front of my banner that has my, like, persona and stuff on it, that makes sense. That's understandable. I've gotten recognized at Walmart before. I was checking out at Walmart and the cashier knew who I was because of my voice. And I got recognized at like a little tiny art store once. I've gotten recognized at conventions when I was not at my table. That one was one of my favorites. That was at MomoCon a few years ago. Me and my friends all made a bet. We were like, which one of us do you guys think is gonna get recognized first, me or Zoe? Because dear friend of the channel, Zoe B, was there with us for that MomoCon. And, you know, she is not, I would say, as known with the anime convention crowd, but she has a much bigger audience than me, and she puts her face in her videos. And so it's like, yeah, you know, I make videos that are gonna be like more prevalent with the anime con crowd, but I don't post my face in my videos, so people have to recognize me by voice alone. And so we were kind of like taking casual bets on which one of us was gonna get recognized first. And I got recognized before she even got to the con. Like, the con was not open. It was the day before. And, it was like still, you know, people were showing up early for registration. And we were waiting for our friend to come around with the car. And this, like, family asks us for directions. And they're like, hey, do you guys know where the registration desk is? And I was like, yeah, you're gonna go up this stairwell. And then you're gonna turn around this way. And you're gonna go that way. And then you should be able to see it. Does that make sense? And the two younger kids of this family went, yeah, that makes sense. Are you the Starfish Face? And I was like, hey! And I just had to be like, yup, that's me, as everyone behind me just fucking loses their shit. And I'm like, ignore them, I just lost a bet. Perceived yet again, truly. When I meant to meet you at MomoCon, I was so chill until I heard your voice. Then my brain short-circuited and went, holy shit, you're an actual real flesh being. Yeah, I get that a lot. I get that a lot. People are surprised I have flesh. And then I get to tell them, hey, guess what? Skin. Oh, gosh. But yeah, cons are fun. I don't have any confirmed conventions that I'm going to be going to in the near future. Except for Lightbox, but Lightbox has a big old asterisk next to it because I'm not tabling at Lightbox. I'm just going for fun. I'm going for shits and giggles and to ideally come home with a bunch of artistic inspiration and also spend a lot of money on other artists. But yeah, I'm leaving for that next week. I'm very excited. Because that con is next weekend and I'm leaving on Thursday? Yes, Thursday. Leaving on Thursday, so in 1 week, I will be in California, which is very exciting. Excalibur, I'm going to California. Starfishface, cease this at once. Cease this at once. We can't be doing this. Can't be doing that. Starfishfang banned. Banned. Banned immediately. Get out. I'm showing you the door with my hands that are made of flesh. Get out. Wait, that's not the line that I thought it was. It's Frankie's little back paw over here. Little Frankie cat. In an alternate universe, there is in fact a star that got really, really into warrior cats. And Castoff actually is Catsoff, and it's a story about cats doing magic. Somewhere in an alternate universe that is the case. But I've actually never read Warrior Cats. I think it got popular right as I kind of aged out of that demographic. I liked Redwall, though. We had a couple of Redwall books at my elementary school library, and I don't remember much of anything about those except for that there's mice on them. And then when I looked up pictures of the covers a couple months ago, or a couple weeks ago, I was like, wow, those mice have swords. But yeah, I just, in general, am not the type of artist who's, like, really into creatures. Which sometimes I'm a little bit disappointed by, because it's like, oh man, I could put cool creatures in my comic. But then I'm like, I don't feel like my comic needs cool creatures. It has a lot of feelings. I don't feel like it needs cool creatures. There is part of me that regrets not putting dragons in Castoff, though, because that would be cool. At least, like, hint at the fact that dragons exist. And I will admit that I think a big part of that is just that I put so many dragons in my D&D campaigns nowadays. I'm just like, I just think they're neat. I mentioned warrior cats and now chat is going so fast. Chat is going so fast now. But yeah, like, I'm looking at Azure Mirage, and I'm looking at this big fantasy world that I'm trying to make, and I feel like I should put creatures in it, and I feel like it's totally reasonable for me to put creatures in it, but I feel like if I want to put creatures in it, I want them to be plot relevant, but I don't have any plots that really need creatures right now. Maybe in the Verity novel when that one happens eventually, but I don't think that Azure Mirage is really gonna need creatures. Azure Mirage is, like, very different from Castoff and also the eventual Verity novel, because most of Azure Mirage takes place in cities. They're just, like, bopping around from one city to another. Let me ask you guys this. Let me ask you guys for a second opinion on this. If you have read the chapters of Azure Mirage that I have posted, I'm very curious. Because when I showed the first draft of the first chapter to a friend of mine, one of her first comments was, "Oh, this is so cozy." And I was like, "Are you sure?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're setting it up and it's very cozy." And I'm like, that's not really the intent, and I don't feel like it's gonna stay that way. But, like, Azure Mirage is not really, like, a big adventure story. It's just very much a story about, like, kind of characters kind of figuring themselves out. And I mean, there is murder and stuff in it. But I would consider it more of like a fantasy mystery story than anything else. But she was like, it's so cozy. I think it was just because of how I was setting up like the Lapis chapter, like the original Lapis, like the chapter 1 of Lapis's arc. And I'm just pondering, it's like, where's the cozy line? Where's the line of where cozy ends in this beginning? Because I've heard some people describe horror games as cozy. It's like cozy horror. It's like, what does cozy even mean to you at this point? Cozy murder is a whole very beloved genre, but what does that mean, cozy murder? Because I feel like being murdered is the opposite of cozy. Like, it just, I'm interested. I'm interested in where the lines get drawn, and if I can mark it as your Mirage with cozy. Does this count as cozy fantasy? Because, like, okay, I read Legends and Lattes, and that is unquestionably, like, cozy fantasy, right? And then I read Can't Spell Treason Without T, and that one has elements of cozy fantasy. And I would say that some chapters definitely fall under cozy fantasy. But there's also a lot more stuff happening in that book. Like, there's freaking dragon fights in that book. And I would argue that it still manages to be cozy just because of what the main plot is about. But there's like, characters almost die multiple times in that book because there's like dragons and there's like an evil government and all that other stuff. And it's just like, okay, well, if this qualifies as cozy fantasy, does Azure Mirage technically qualify as cozy fantasy? Much to think about. Can't Spell Treason Without T is definitely cozy. See, it's cozy, but then also there's dragon fights in it. And there's not even dragon fights in Azure Mirage. There's like a couple murders, but shrug. Fun fact, in the original planned version of Laz's opening chapter, there wasn't even gonna be a murder in it. The first murder wasn't gonna be until like chapter 3 of Laz's story. And then that was gonna be the one that causes their mental breakdown. And then I realized like 2 days before I wrote it, it's like, no, I should have a murder in the first chapter, kind of set things up, give the audience an idea of what the usual play is before I go fucking it up. So we could have had a very different version of Laz's opening chapter. Because originally the first chapter of Laz's story was just going to be recon. But I changed it, and I ultimately think it's definitely for the better. This is the kind of thing I can talk about more once we get a little deeper in the story, but... I don't know. I just think it's interesting. Although, okay, someone did say Magnus Archives in the comments, and now I have to talk about how I want to... It is inevitable that at some point, after creation of new characters, at some point, the moon will rise at just the right angle, and I start thinking, okay, what Magnus Archives entities did they fall under? It's like, okay, if they were in the Magnus Archives, what entities would they be? And it's like, oh yeah, here we go. It's like Hogwarts houses, but for people who are not transphobic assholes. And those who like spookies. Because here's the thing, is that in this one instance, the main character is the easiest one to figure out. Lapis is unquestionably the eye. Like, abso-fucking-lutely she is! Her whole shit is being a nosy bitch who wants to find out! That's like her entire thing! Is being a nosy bitch who wants to find out! And she's going to find out! And then she's going to regret finding out! That's like what her whole plot line is. So I'm definitely at some point going to draw Lapis with a bunch of spooky eyeballs floating around her, and if y'all know, you're gonna be like, hell yeah, and if you don't know, then you should go listen to the Magnus Archives, which is a horror podcast. It's the perfect time of year to go enjoy a spooky podcast. You should listen to a spooky podcast with a British man who tells you the horrors. Spooky podcast with a British man who tells you about the horrors. It's the perfect time of year for a re-listen. Honestly, I might re-listen to it here pretty soon. But yeah, so we know that Lapis is the eye. I'm unsure about Laz, because I feel like Laz could definitely go two ways. If Laz was an avatar of one of the entities, I think they would be an avatar of the Slaughter. They're an assassin. I feel like that makes sense. Alternatively, the one that I think works better with their personal arc is that they are not an avatar of any of the entities. They are a victim of the entities, and they would 100% be a victim of the web. Like, that is so what their thing is, like, with their whole storyline. And, like, the antagonist of Azure Mirage, this cult leader I'm working on, her name is Vostra. Or at least that's what everyone calls her. She is very much like, she could be like the web personified. That's like her whole thing is control. And Laz is like one of her minions, and she's trying to get out from that position because she realizes, she has a little mental breakdown and realizes how much she fucking hates it and she wants out. But yes. I don't know about the rest of the characters. I don't know about Leon. I feel like Leon escapes the horrors. I don't know how he does it, but he does. And I don't know about, like, Storm and Zephyr. I don't know. I have to look. I feel like I have, whenever this happens, if it's not immediately obvious, I have to go look at a list. I have to go remember all the entities. There's 14 of them. I can't remember all those bitches. I can't remember all of them. Where's my Womter? The Castoff characters in a horror movie, who would survive? Probably not Vector. He would peace out as soon as the spooky started happening. I mean, if you think about it, the chapter where they first enter the academy, what is that, chapter 11? That's like the closest the comic has gotten to horror. And I actually kind of played around with that a little bit, like with Sage's intro of him being like just a spooky shape, a spooky silhouette. Who would be the lonely in Azure Mirage? Ooh, good question. I feel like, wouldn't be Felix. Maybe Storm? Storm potentially would work for the lonely, but I feel like there's got to be something that fits him better. No, I don't know if Storm would work for the lonely. I feel like of the main cast, he gets the closest, but I don't think that would necessarily work for him because his whole thing is that, like, his whole character arc is he's looking for people. And so I don't feel like the lonely would attach itself to him. But I don't know what he would be. Hang on. I'm gonna look up a list. A list of the horrors. The horrors. Okay. Okay. The buried, the corruption, the dark, the desolation, the end, eye, flesh, hunt, lonely, slaughter, spiral, stranger, vast, and web. Which one would Storm be? It wouldn't be the eye because that's Lapis. Not desolation, not buried. Corruption doesn't feel like him. Or dark. Maybe the end? The end could work. Maybe. He could also maybe be the, you know what? Maybe he's the hunt, actually. Maybe. You know who's the hunt? Ariana's the hunt. Well, no, because I came up with all the ones for Castoff. Ariana's Desolation and Zephyr, no, not fucking Zephyr, Zara. Zara's, no, wait. Ah, it's been so long. It's been so long, ag. I need to re-listen to the podcast again. I need my annual listen of Spooky British Man Tells Me the Spookies. Ariana could see being the hunt. See, it's funny because like a lot of Castoff characters you could absolutely see as being more than one. Like Vector is 100% the Spiral. Vector is absolutely the Spiral. Are you kidding me? He is so spiral coded. Because like people look at him and they see him differently. They see him like how he is not, even though he is just a little guy. He's an avatar of the Spiral and he does not want to be. It's just an unfortunate side effect of the circumstances. If you have no fucking idea what I'm talking about, go listen to the Magnus Archives, by the way. Good use of your time. Very good podcast. Very good jams. Crossover between all your stories could be a fun mail club thing. It would be a fun mail club thing, which is why I did it last month. It's why I did that for September. It's why I did that for September. I did Castoff and Azure Mirage crossover. Look at the babies. All I know about the Magnus Archives is that it's set in Wisconsin. No, it's not. No, it is not, my friend. I don't know where you got that from. It is set in the Magnus Institute in London. Look at my babies. They're hanging out together. God, now I'm gonna be thinking about it. Who the fuck is Storm? Not the Buried, not the Corruption, not the Dark, not the Desolation. Could be End. He wouldn't be the Eye. Not Flesh. He could be the End. He could be the Hunt. I don't think Lonely works as well. Definitely not Spiral. Definitely not Slaughter. Wait. He could be the Stranger. I feel like if we separate Storm and Zephyr, even though they are technically the same person because he is a shapeshifter, I feel like Storm would be a different avatar than Zephyr, and I feel like Zephyr would definitely be the Stranger. But I don't know about Storm. Storm, I feel like, is not as obviously calling out to me in any kind of particular way. So are these like the Arcana in Persona? Kind of! I guess that's a comparison you could draw. But yeah, like, kind of explaining what all the different, like, things mean is technically a spoiler. So if what we're talking about right now interests you in any kind of way, you should just go listen to the podcast. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. I feel like just like talking about the entities is not a spoiler, but explaining what they are is. And so it's kind of just like one of those if you know type situations, and if you don't, go listen to the podcast. It's good shit. The creator follows me on Blue Sky. I've told that story before. I think he doesn't check very often, which I'm glad of because I'm cringe online. 5 seasons. The episodes are like 20 minutes long each. And it's a podcast, so you can just like listen to it while doing other things. It goes by real fast. It goes by real fast. I showed my mom the first episode once, a while ago. Cause like, honestly, If you're curious about the Magnus Archives and you're not sure if you want to get into it, listen to the first episode. Listen to the first episode. Episode 1 is genuinely one of the best episodes in the show. The very first episode, which honestly, like, very good for them. That is how that swung out. But just like listen to the first episode. It's called The Anglerfish. That will give you a really good idea of the vibes. Where do I listen to it? It's on pretty much anywhere you get your podcasts. It's on Spotify. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on... I think they also upload the episodes to YouTube. Just in the audio form. But yeah, I definitely used to fall asleep to that show. I was like, it's time to fall asleep. I'm gonna put my spookies on. And I would just go honk shoes, z, listen to my spookies. Look at little Rory cat, causing problems. Oh, so this is gonna seem unrelated, but I promise there is a train of thought there. For me, do you guys ever have like pieces of media that you watch / listen to while playing a video game or something? And so now those two pieces of media are like inextricably linked to each other in your head? Because for me, I listened to the Magnus Archives while playing Pokemon Sword and Shield for the first time. Like the entire time I was playing Pokemon Sword and Shield all the way through for the first time, I was listening to the Magnus Archives. And so now it's just like the Magnus Archives and Pokemon are just like 100% linked in my brain. So we've been talking about the Magnus Archives, and now I want to talk about Pokemon. Guys, is new Pokemon good? I don't want spoilers, but if anyone has played it, how is it? I've seen mixed opinions so far. Because one of the big things I'm worried about is the entire game takes place in just one city, and I feel like that would get boring if you're only in the one city for like the whole game. That is a concern that I have, because I like being able, with games like Pokemon, I feel like I want to explore. I'm playing it and I love it. It's so good. Story, animation, environment, and characters are all very good thus far. Tutorial is very long. Not half bad. Tutorial is annoyingly long, but the game is generally good. Interesting. Because my thing is, it does in fact all take place in one city, but I feel like that would get boring after a while. Because I remember in the first Pokemon Legends game, like you had all these different locations you could go to, and they were a little bit like limited open world, and you could just like run around and play. But I feel like the game taking place, like the entire thing is all in one city. I feel like that would get boring. Rosalie, thank you for the super chat. Hello, Star. Hope you're doing well. My stuffy pushing says hi. Quick question. Do you think you'd ever get into the Ori games? I don't know what that is. So, shrug. I feel like I've heard of those, but I don't know. I've never played them. This kitty Sonia. It is! I was like, listen, one of them has to be a little tabby, and it's gonna be Sonia. Gonna be a little brown tabby just like Molly is. I'd say one cramped city is better than the large empty world that Scarlet and Violet has. That's very true. That one of my biggest complaints with Scarlet and Violet is that it's so fucking big and there's nothing to do. So that's valid and fair. One of my biggest okay, But yeah, I don't know. I've been debating. It's like, do I get the new Pokemon game or not? Cause I feel like if I get it, I'm gonna want the version on the Switch 2 because I've heard that it runs better, but I don't have a Switch 2 yet. So I feel like I would need to buy a Switch 2. And the bundle you can get the Switch 2 and the Pokemon game for like $500, so technically you're saving money on the game. It's $50 instead of $70 if you buy it with the console. And the Best Buy near me has it in stock, so I could go get it. But also it's like, do I want to? I just cannot justify the $70 to $130 price tag for a series that has been so notoriously jank. Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking, is like, maybe I'll wait and see how reviews are before I go buy it. So it was not a day one purchase for me. And so there's part of me that's like, you're not going to have any time to play it until after Lightbox anyway. So just wait and don't buy it yet. And yeah, I also don't like the pricing. It's fucking BS. And I know a lot of people are like, but it's like the price of games has to inflate with like the price of other things. But I feel like if you're gonna make it cost that much, you gotta make it worth it. And it feels like Pokemon's really been phoning it in for the last couple generations. And I hate saying that about other people's creative work, but it's just like, man, this could be better, and you're actively choosing to not make it better just because you know you'll make a profit on it anyway because it's Pokemon. And that just rubs me the wrong way. The problem is that I also like Pokemon. I remember I felt a lot of emotions about them announcing DLC before the game was even out. And it's like, bro, just put that in the fucking game. Just put it in the actual base game. I feel like once we got to a point where game consoles could connect to the internet, we completely lost the plot. Like, there's some stuff that I like having early access to. Like, I've been really enjoying Fields of Mysteria. That's a very fun game, and that one's early access. They've been occasionally doing patches, and I enjoy that. But all the patches in Fields of Mysteria are free because the game is in early access, technically. It's still in beta. The full version should be coming out next year, according to the roadmap they've laid out. ZA is a competent game. I could not say that about Scarlet on release. See, that's the thing, though, is I feel like for a franchise as huge as Pokemon, it should be well more than competent. It's such a big series, and I feel like they're not doing it justice because they're just focusing on just pushing games out. And the games are bottom rung for quality. Yeah, it's kind of upsetting. Because I grew up on Pokemon games, and I really want... My problem is that I really want to like Pokemon, and I keep being disappointed. Like, Scarlet and Violet, I finished, but I seriously debated trading that game in, because I was just like, this is boring. I don't know. I feel like there's a big conversation to be had about that sort of thing in games. And I don't know if I'm the one who wants to have that conversation. But there is a conversation to be had, I'm sure. I am excited for Lightbox, though. That is next weekend, and I am hype as heck. Because my thing is, like, I haven't really been drawing very much recently, aside from work. And there's a good reason for that. It's because basically every moment of free time I've had for the past couple weeks has been spent writing. Because I'm very into my writing these days, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And, you know, like, that's a good thing. It's good to, like, have things. But then it's like, my poor sketchbook is languishing in the corner. Languishing. I feel like all the guards should have collars. All the guard kitties should have collars. That's how you show that they're owned. I mean, what? It'll also make it easier to tell who's who. But shh, that's my secret. How have you guys been enjoying all of the recent Castoff updates on a scale of 1 to 10? How much have you screamed? I heard that, Star. You heard nothing. I said nothing. You can't prove anything. 11, 30, 1,000, 10 with a lot of exclamation points. 10 out of 10. It's nice. It's too much out of 10. Thank you for reading my webcomic and all of the fucking things that keep happening. Several members of Mod Squad know how the chapter is going to end, and you got... 15 out of 10. I've been trying to get my friends to read Castoff so much. I'm like, guys, it's so good. I'm so excited. It's funny. It's funny because... Oh god, what was I gonna say? People keep asking me, like, how long Castoff is gonna be. We're in chapter 13 right now, and I keep telling people that my estimation, based on how much story I have left to go, is that the story is probably going to be somewhere around 21 to 23 chapters by the end of it. I don't know exactly because I haven't outlined that far. And I don't know, the tricky part is, like, I know exactly what's gonna happen for the most part. Like, I know the sequence of events. I just don't know how many chapter breaks are gonna happen between A and B. And that I'm not gonna figure out until I actually start writing it, really. But we still have a decent amount of story left. And when I tell people that, especially in regards to, like, what is currently happening in this chapter, people are like, holy fuck, how is there still, like, up to 10 more chapters of this story left? What even's gonna happen? We're getting so many huge reveals with, like, Zara and Ariana's story and, like, all of Vector stuff. Is like, what more could you possibly add to this story? It's like, how are we gonna have another 10 chapters after this? And I'm like, oh ho ho, you sweet summer children. You don't even know what I am planning. You don't even know. You don't even know what's gonna fucking happen. They don't even know what's gonna happen once they get back to the capital. They don't even know! They don't even know what's gonna happen! They don't even know. They don't know what's gonna happen with Sage. They don't know what's gonna happen with Rory. They don't know what's gonna happen with Frankie. Oh my god, they know nothing. They know nothing. They know nothing, chat. They know nothing. 10 more chapters, roughly. We're getting there. Getting there. Like, you guys think that my biggest reveals are happening in chapter 13? A lot of big reveals are happening in chapter 13, but certainly not my biggest. Not my biggest one. I have loved watching all the theories, though. I have loved watching you guys spin, especially about some of the stuff that's going to get revealed in, like, upcoming chapters. I love to watch you guys spin in the Discord. And I'm almost like, I don't want to say anything because I don't want to hint at spoilers. I don't want to accidentally give away too much. But tee-hee. Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. I want to know who the person on the wanted poster Vector was mistaken for is. There is no mistake. Vector's wanted poster is for Vector. The question is why. The question is why. Everyone's been kind of dodgy about that. I feel like by a certain point that will become more obvious than it already is. I don't consider that to be spoilers because I feel like... I mean, the one Ariana mistook him for. Yeah, no, there isn't another. It's like 613 is Vector. Like there is not a case of mistaken identity here. Like that poster was and always has been for Vector. There was no mistake. But why? Exactly. Exactly. Why, in fact? How'd they even get his picture, though? The first wanted poster didn't have a picture. They didn't put pictures on the wanted posters until after Vector got dragged to the Capitol. I feel like some of you guys need to reread the comic, because this has all been covered. But nah, I've got some big ol' reveal. See, I feel like you guys are worried about stuff that's gonna happen at the end of chapter 13. Chapter 13 has a lot of big reveals. And people keep asking me, Star, you keep talking about this big, huge plot twist that's gonna get revealed that you'd like talk to your friends about, and they like convince you were worried it was too dark and they convinced you to keep it in. When's that gonna happen? People keep asking me, is this it? Is this it? Is this it? Is this the plot twist? And I'm like, no, that plot twist doesn't happen for several chapters. I believe chapter 17. No? 17 or 18? I think it might actually be 18 based on the outline. Because like I said, I don't know exactly when the chapter breaks are going to happen, and that's the hardest part. Okay, no, it is chapter 17. Yeah, it's 17. I know the one that's coming up in this chapter. Yeah, several members of Mod Squad know what's happening for the rest of the chapter. I feel like the plot twist will be huge enough we'll just know what it is. See, you would think that, but people keep asking me, like, with every new reveal that keeps happening for, like, Ariana and Zara's story and all this other stuff, people keep being like, oh my god, Zara name reveal, Star, is this the thing you were talking about? And I'm like, no. No, we're not gonna get there. No, we're not gonna get there for a bit. It's gonna be a while, gamers. It's gonna be a while. No, I hit my navigator. Bring it back. Bring it back. Okay, yeah, this is no longer correct, so I need to get rid of that. The big twist, the one that I am anxiously looking forward to, the one that I was kind of worried about, and now I think, like, the more I think about it, I'm like, stories in my demographic have gone much darker. I think that, like, the dark stuff in Castoff has deeper implications that could be darker, but as far as what the actual story will be covering, it doesn't go as dark. It's like The Ring, if you see the full name, you die. Yeah. That's why he couldn't put it on his paperwork. Because he couldn't risk accidentally killing people by seeing his cringe name. Guys, what? Sarah's full name is not that bad. Why do I keep getting comments of people being like, oh wow, his mom must have hated him? What the hell? It's a cool name. What are you guys on about? Why are you being so mean to my boy? Shut up. FMAV is the same demographic and we all know how that goes. Yeah, I don't think it's as dark as, like, what happens to a small child in, like, the 6th episode. I don't think it's that dark. No children are going to be turned into dogs in the 1st episode. Well, not 1st episode. Eventually. I feel like FMA does definitely get darker and it is the same age demographic, so I'm probably fine. I'm probably fine. If you've never watched Full Metal Alchemist, don't even worry about it. Someone commented on his name looking like a French person pronouncing Rachel. Okay, I should probably go ahead while I'm streaming. Just go ahead and word of God how Zara's name is pronounced. It's pronounced Zarishal. That's how I've been pronouncing that. And I am his mother. I am the one who named him. And I don't hate him. Damn it. So I've mentioned this in the server, is that all of the angel name or all of the elf names in Castoff, I basically stole archangel names and I changed a few letters. So Zara is, a couple people caught on to this. Zara is named after Zarishal or Zarishil. I don't know how to pronounce it. But it's an archangel from the Bible, I assume. I don't know how you're supposed to pronounce it. I pronounce it Zarishal. So that is word of God. That is how you're supposed to pronounce it. I got a Tumblr ask about this. I need to go ahead and respond to it. He's the archangel from the Bible. But yeah, all the elvish characters in Castoff are named after archangels. Because I thought that the names were cool. And I was in my early 20s, or not even in my 20s, I was in my late teens when I was first coming up with all these characters. No angels are named in the Bible, if I'm not mistaken. Then where did they get the archangels from? Answer that one. Democrats, I don't know. Liberals, answer the question. It's important. I have to know how to pronounce my Blorbo's name. Can you guys tell I'm not religious? Can you tell? Can you tell that this is just fun things for me to pull from? I'm just like, wee. Listen, I went to church for like 2 years as a child, and the only memories I gained from it was, God, I was born a theater kid. I was just thinking about this the other day. Outside of the Bible, apocryphas, and Catholic teachings. Oh, it's the Catholics' fault. I see. I am not Catholic. The one time, the 2 years that my family went to church, we went to a Methodist church. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what the difference is between Methodists and everybody else. Don't tell me. I don't need to know. It's not important. But I actually have a little story about that. I have a story about that. There are days that I'm like, oh man, maybe it's like I. You know, there's like the whole argument for nature versus nurture. It's like some things is a child born with a certain personality, or is their personality thrust upon them by the way they are raised? I was born to be a theater kid, and thinking about old church memories cements that idea in my head for me. So let me tell you guys a story. Let me tell you guys a little story. So I went to a Methodist church when I was a young child. I barely remember anything about it. The memories I have are, at one point, they were trying to teach us like children's Bible stories. And there was one story where I don't remember what fucking story it was, but it involved like one of the camp counselors like having a shoebox, like a plastic shoebox filled with sand. And they were using it to demonstrate something about the story, and I could not pay attention to the story for the life of me because I just really, really, really wanted to play in the sandbox, and she would not let me. And I was very mad that I was not allowed to play in the sandbox. That is the main thing that I took away from that. Thing number 2 that I remember from church is that the 2 years we were active members on the church, every year we would do the Christmas play. So on Christmas Eve, everyone would come to church and we would do the Christmas play. And you have to understand, guys, I was like 4 and 5, maybe 6 years old when this happened. And the fact that I still remember this to this day. When we did the Christmas play, you know, some of like the older kids and like the teens, like basically middle school and up, they were all the ones who got speaking lines in the Christmas play. And if you were too young to have speaking lines in the Christmas play, if you were a girl, you got cast as an angel. So all angels go to heaven, all girls go to heaven apparently. And if you were a boy, you got cast as a shepherd. And I remember being so mad because I thought it was not fair that I did not even get a chance to audition for speaking lines in the Christmas play. I was so upset. Legitimately, I was so mad. The two genders, angels and shepherds. Exactly. And see, here's the thing, is that like the boys who got cast as shepherds, there was like this one part in the Christmas play where they all got to run around and like run between the pews. Like there was this one song and like the older kids would sing the song, but then all the little shepherds would like run around. They got to run around through the pews and like go run around. And I wanted to run around. I was like, damn it. Why? It's like, I want to be a shepherd. They get to run around and do cool shit. I just have to sit up here on the stage and look cute. I hate this. I was so mad. Little baby Star has held on to that rage for like 30 years almost. I was so mad because I wanted to run around. It was like, ugh. So yeah, that's what I remember from church. I remember not being allowed to play in the sandbox, even though I really, really wanted to, because it was Jesus' sandbox or whatever the hell. And I remember being mad that I was forced to be an angel and just sit on the corner of the stage. I remember sitting on the corner of the stage for the Christmas play every year and thinking, this is a waste of my Christmas Eve. I wanted to spend my Christmas Eve. It's like, I only get 2 weeks off of school and I'm spending an entire day doing this. This is boring. And like, you know, we would go home and then we would watch the videotaping of the Christmas play at my grandparents' house and they'd be like, you're such a cute angel. I'm like, I fucking wish I'd been a shepherd and could run around. The girls just have to sit there and look pretty. Yeah, cool morals that we're giving to our children. Very cool. But yeah, we did not stay in the church for long. It's kind of a funny story. The only reason we joined that church is because that was around the time that my younger brother, he was a baby, and he needed to get into a preschool. And the easiest way to get off the wait list for the preschool was to have an in via the church. And so we started going to church so that we could get my brother into a good preschool. And then as soon as my brother was in a good preschool, my parents were like, tithing's expensive and getting up early on Sunday sucks. And so then we stopped going. And so we stopped going. It's very funny. So at this point, I would consider myself agnostic. And it's like, religion is not important to me, but it's like, if it's important to you, it's like, that's fine. My stance on religion is I'm not a huge fan of organized religion because I feel like it's too easy for corruption to creep in there, as we have seen with a lot of stuff that I won't go into. That's not really my topic to speak on, but I mean, it's not an unknown problem. But yeah, I feel like if you find comfort in the idea of a higher power and you're not using it as an excuse to be a asshole, then whatever. It's fine. It's chill. Like my therapist is Christian. Like it's all good. It's all good, you know? Tithing is expensive and getting up early on Sunday sucks. The greatest grandson Christianity I've heard in a while. Yeah, that's the vibe. That's the vibe for my family's religious ideals. So, yeah. That's the vibe. Here, I'm gonna take a real quick bathroom break and then we will come back. BRB. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna sip my water for a minute. Yeah, I see people in chat talking about tithing. Yeah, that's like one of the bigger reasons that we left. Because it felt so greedy, if you ask me. It's like you have to give 10% of your income to the church. It's like, Jesus Christ. Literally. Welcome to Religious Trauma, the stream. My religious trauma is that I didn't get to run around during the Christmas play, and I've held on to that anger ever since. I could go more detailed with these books, but I don't feel like it. I don't feel like it. And you didn't get to play in the Jesus Sandbox. I didn't! And that's homophobic. Homophobic of them to do that. But yeah, I don't want this to be like yapping about religion and the horrors for like the rest of stream. I was thinking about the Christmas play a few days ago, and I just wanted to share that story because I thought it was funny. It's like, if there was ever any doubt that Star was meant to be a theater kid, they should be gone now. Jesus would let everyone play in the Jesus Sandbox. Yeah, like that was his thing, is you play in the sandbox. Love thy neighbor, play in my sand. It's like, what is it? Is like, this bread is my flesh, the water is my blood, and this is my sandbox. Go crazy, go stupid. Slap that on a sweater. And I will wear it on Christmas. Famous Jesus quotes, yeah. Listen, I haven't been to church since I was like, I went to church once with my cousins because I slept over at their house and they went to church every Sunday. The last time I went to church, I was in like middle school, I think. But I know a lot about religion. I'm basically an expert, and I know that Jesus loved it. He was super cool with people playing in his sandbox. What is the sandbox supposed to teach exactly? I have no fucking idea. It was some Bible story, and they were using the sandbox to demonstrate it. I feel like maybe you guys can help me with this. Maybe you guys with deeper religious trauma can help me remember what the fuck this was. Because they just had like this little plastic sandbox and it was filled with sand. And I feel like they were doing something in the sand, and then they were like brushing their hand over it to erase it. Like they were writing something in the sand, or they were putting something in the sand. They were doing something with the sand, and they were using the sandbox to like demonstrate what the hell it was. And I don't remember what the lesson from the sandbox was supposed to be. I think we should let Mariah Carey stay defrosted this Christmas. She supports trans rights. Yeah. But then we don't get to joke about her being defrosted every Christmas. And the defrosted Mariah Carey jokes do bring me a lot of joy. I do not know the Bible sand story at all. Was it footprints in the sand? I don't think it was. I don't think it was. This will forever remain a mystery. Because, so I'm pretty sure that the church we went to was the one that my mom's friend just took us to. My mom had a coworker who she's still very good friends with. And I'm pretty sure that she was the one who, like, got us into this church. And she has 2 daughters that are about my age. And, like, I could potentially ask them. He's like, hey, do you guys remember the fucking Jesus Sandbox? There is no way that they remember the Jesus Sandbox. They couldn't possibly. It has been 25 years since then. It has been 25 years since then. They do not remember the Jesus Sandbox. This is just I really don't think it was the thing about... I don't even know if Jesus was in the story, if I'm being honest. I just remember the sandbox. Because I know the whole thing about, like, the story of Jesus carrying people, and I remember the many parodies that have been done with that are very funny. Let me tell you the Jesus Peaks the Box story after this stream. Okie dokie, sounds like a plan. I feel like I've heard a version of like the footprints in the sand story where it's like, but Jesus, he's like, you said that you like, you know, that you would stay walking with me. But maybe it was on My Brother and Me, I think, that this version of the story is like, I don't remember, but I just remember there's like a funny version of that story that someone who's like, there were 2 footprints walking in the... No, it was Game Grumps! It was Game Grumps that I remember this from. Because instead of Jesus, they changed it to Sasquatch. And now I just remembered the punchline. Fuck. Hang on. I just remembered the punchline and I'm laughing about it. God damn it. Bigfoot died for our sake. He did. That is true. That's why he's not the one. That's why no one can find him. Hang on, I'm gonna look this up. I know. Yes! Yes, because Louis Zong did an animated version of it. Hang on. Hang on. Let me pause my music. And then make it so, okay, Chrome audio is turned on. Okay, hang on. We need to, yes, un momento. Hang on, let me get add. Make sure there's nothing crazy up on my screen. Okay, un segundo, por favor. Window capture. Badoops. Select a window to capture. Game Grumps animate. Yes, we're gonna watch this together really fast. We're gonna watch this together really fast, chat. Beep. Beep. We're gonna watch this together and it's gonna be funny.
One night a man had a dream. He dreamed he was walking along the beach with Sasquatch. Along the sky flashed scenes from his life. For each scene he noticed 2 sets of footprints in the sand, one belonging to him and the other to the Sasquatch. When the last scene of his life flashed before him, he looked back at the footprints in the sand. He noticed that many times along the path of his life, there was only 1 set of footprints. He also noticed that it happened at the very lowest and saddest times of his life. This really bothered the man, and he questioned Sasquatch about it. "Sasquatch," he said, "you said that once I decided to follow you, you'd walk with me all the way. But I've noticed that during the most troublesome times in my life, there's only 1 set of footprints. I don't understand why I needed you. I don't understand why when I needed you most, you would leave me." Then Sasquatch turned to him and replied,
God damn it, it still makes me laugh so hard. It's so fucking good. God damn it. Sasquatch, where were you during these low times in my life? And he turned to Sasquatch, and Sasquatch said, "Ah!" I'm crying. Jesus fucking Christ, that still makes me laugh so hard. And the animation is so good. Oh man. God, it's been years since I even thought about that. It still just makes me laugh so fucking hard. You mean Sasquatch fucking Christ? You're so right, bestie. You're so right. Oh my god. Oh god. I'm like actually crying. Over the fucking Sasquatch. Jesus Christ. Sasquatch Christ, apologies. But yeah, so that's my Jesus in the Footprints story. Yeah, join the Church of Sasquatch. He will tell you such poignant and meaningful things like, ah! Oh my god, that got me. That got me so hard. Do you guys understand why I was laughing before I even showed the video, though? It's because I remembered how that video ended. Yeah, Sasquatch would let Child Star play in his sandbox. People from the church didn't let me play in their sandbox. And that sand looked so soft, which is what made it so much worse. It's like, that sand looked so soft. It was just like this soft little plastic box of sand, and I was just like, I really hope that this was all a lie. You were just setting up that joke and there was no sandbox. I'm not clever enough for that. This is all coming straight from the heart, bitches. People think I lie in my storytime videos sometimes, and I'm like, no, you fools! I'm just stupid, and sometimes I remember stories long after they happen. I've gotten it disproportionately in response to the influencer story video. I've gotten so many people assuming that that one is fake and leaving hate comments about it, and I'm like, bitch, I wish that was fake. I fucking wish that story was fake. But I am still that stupid company that I worked in big ol' air quotes. I'm still on their mailing list, guys. And they occasionally jump scare me with just like really bad marketing emails. And yeah, they got all up into AI now, and I'm just like, yeah, how did I fucking know that was gonna happen? How did I fucking know that that was going to be a thing that happened? Hidden old man in the car. No, I've gotten people have found so much joy in Jump Scare Grandpa. Like, my mom texted me this morning. It was like, I just watched your newest video and loved it. I like the part with the random old man. And I'm like, thank you, mother. Thank you, mother. Jump Scare Grandpa has captured people's hearts, apparently. The people love Jump Scare Grandpa. That was just such a weird part of the story, too. Because it's like, they just pulled this random old man out of the back of the truck and they started leading them into the house, and they were like, sorry, he has to go to the bathroom. It's like, I'm not gonna say no. I'm not gonna say that your 90-year-old grandpa can't use my bathroom. I'm not that cruel. But why was he there? Why did you bring a random 90-year-old jump scare grandpa to my house when you're supposed to be moving my furniture? Why did this occur? These fucking movers. Ah. It's just wild. It was crazy. But I'm glad that people liked it. One of the things I was really curious about going into this video is I had no idea how this video was gonna perform, because it's been over a year since I did like a full storytime video. I've done videos where like I talk about stuff in my past, but they've always been like attached to some sort of bigger topic, right? And so it's been a decent amount of time since I did just like an actual storytime video. And so I wasn't sure how this one was going to perform. And the answer is it's not performing great, but it's not hideous, you know? And I'm so glad I made the video, because I thought it was fun. And I was worried it was too negative. I was really worried that the video was going to be too negative and people wouldn't like it. But folks seem to be enjoying it, and I'm glad that my pain and suffering is entertaining for others. I'm gonna draw some of the scramches on this lovely chair that Sage has. How could it be too negative? It has both Jumpscare Grandpa and Kelsey or Fortnite. Okay! We need to talk... Donathan, moderator, you know what you did. Dawn has been trying to get me to read Brandon Sanderson for, I think, years at this point. Because she keeps comparing me to Brando Sanderson. And saying it's like that we have very similar manic disappear for a year and then come back with 5 novels energy. And I started reading Way of Kings first. And while I am enjoying that book, it's very dense. It's a lot. It's a lot to get through. And so I told myself at some point, I feel like I need something a little bit shorter. And I started watching I've been watching a lot of like writing advice videos recently, because, you know, I'm trying to write this book or whatever. And a lot of Brandon Sanderson's like videos, like his recorded lecture series have been popping up. And so I've been watching those, and I've been watching some other videos. And whenever he talks about it, he's like, you should read Mistborn first. And so I was like, people keep talking about how Mistborn's really good. And I had seen enough things that had piqued my curiosity to the point where I was like, I kind of want to see what this is about. And so I read the first novel of Mistborn, and guys, I really liked it. I enjoyed Mistborn a whole lot. I'm still working my way through the second one, but it's going slower than the first one, mostly just because it's not that I like the second one least. It's more that I feel like the second book is good. The second book still has me. It's got me, but I feel like the second book, the stakes are different. Like, I feel like with the first book, it's like, we have to deal with this oppressive government, and there's the one guy we have to beat, and then everything will be cool. And the second book feels like we're dealing with the consequences. And where it's like, I don't think it's bad, but it's different. And so I would say it's like, I'm not devouring the first one I'm not devouring the second one in the same way I did the first one. The second one, I got to the beginning of what I suppose is called the Sanderlanche. I was like, I was a fool. I was a fucking idiot. I was just like, I'll read one more chapter before bed. And it was the chapter where basically it sets off the climax. And I was like, oh, fuck me. Oh, fuck me, actually. And then I stayed up until 2 a.m. reading the rest of it because I'm like, I tried to go to sleep after reading like the last chapter before the climax starts. And I was like, I literally cannot sleep. I am so distressed. I am so distressed and upset. And I started swearing at Dawn in my DMs because I was like, you motherfucker, you knew this was gonna happen! And I knew that you'd be awake too, which is why I didn't feel bad about it. I was so upset. I was so mad. My boy. And I was swearing on Blue Sky too. I was just like, God damn it. Never read books, they'll break you. But yeah, so I've been reading the second one, but I haven't been reading as much in general since finishing First Mistborn, just because I've kind of gotten into a groove with writing, and so I've been taking less time to read, and I've been doing more writing. But I feel like I need to get back on my writing horse, or my reading horse, because, you know, it's good to see how other people handle things. And right now my thing is like, okay, I don't hate Brandon Sanderson's writing style at all, but I think that he is excessively practical in the way that he describes things. And I feel like when I've been reading a lot of his books, I can feel my own writing getting more practical, where it's like there's not a lot of vivid and evocative descriptions. But like, I love a good evocative description. And so I want to include those in my writing, but I'm just like, especially with the first draft of Azure Mirage that I'm writing, I can feel my evocative description slipping away from me. And so I feel like I need to go and read some more stuff that has more of that in it. I did buy the second book, the Legends and Lattes. I think it's a prequel, actually. I only read the prologue, but I want to finish Mistborn before I get too deep into that. But the new bookstore that just opened near my house had a copy of the special edition that I wanted. So I bought that, even though I'm not going to read it just yet. But yeah, and so it's like, I feel like I need to be reading more, but all of my free time has been spent writing because I'm enjoying the actual process of writing and outlining everything and doing all that stuff. And it's just like, I don't have time. I'm holding all these lemons. It's like, what do I do with all these limes? It's like that meme of that guy who's holding too many fruits. He's holding too many citrus fruits, and I'm just like, yep, that's me. That's me with all my things. Ride the wave of creativity, yeah. It's like I just gotta do what my ADHD brain wants to do. And see, that was another thing. That, like, the guy who wrote Legends and Lattes is also not, like, terribly descriptive either. Like, you can basically get through that entire book and not really know what the main character looks like, aside from the fact that she's an orc. Like, he describes the other characters a little bit more, but I remember I was mostly curious just because of, like, how the writer of Legends and Lattes kind of talks about the journey. And, because, like, Legends and Lattes was originally published as an indie book. And then it got picked up by a publisher. And I'm like, I feel like if any of my books ever go to traditional publishing, I feel like that's more of a route I want to aim for, even though it feels like a very lofty and, let's say maybe, what's the word I'm looking for? Aspirational, maybe. Because it kind of skirts the, like, original idea of, well, first you have to get an agent, and then you have to query, and then you have to do all this other stuff, and there's, like, steps that go into it. And, you know, there's, like, I don't know if I want to go through traditional publishing, because I almost feel like traditional publishing is too slow, and, like, they take too much and they offer too little. To the point where it's like, well, maybe I just do Azure Mirage self-published, just like I've been doing with Castoff, because I've found great success with doing self-published with Castoff and How to Webcomic and all these other books. The worst part of self-publishing, though, is just that I can't get stuff in bookstores easily. But, you know, if the book, like, gets discovered and someone in, like, a publisher is willing to make me a good offer, I put that eye there and then I realized that this water splash kind of looks like a cat. I think I'm keeping it because that's funny to me. Mm-hmm. It's the cat splash, indeed. I think you have a good enough of a fan base, it would get a good following that would get picked up. See, that's because, like, if I indie published it first and then it got picked up by a publisher, I feel like that would be the ideal because A, it would let me skip all of the annoying stuff. And then, you know, I'm real impatient is my thing. And, like, I just want to get the book out there and I want to get it read by people. And I don't want to have to go through all the rigmarole. But is that cheating? Is that gonna be, like, snarking in the face of all the writers who, like, worked really hard to get an agent and, like, go through all the proper steps? Is that, like, stepping on their toes if I try and aim for that specifically? I don't know. I don't really know what I want to do yet. Absolutely not. No. Okay. I guess my just thing is I don't want to think too far ahead because I don't want to get ahead of myself. I've written 3 chapters total of this book, and it's probably going to be close to 30 by the time I'm done. I don't want to get too ahead of myself. But, you know, sometimes it's fun to think about the potentialities, you know? If you already have the people to buy the book, fuck 'em, you don't need a publisher. Definitely not. The only reason I would even want to get closer to traditional publishing is so that I can get my books on bookstore shelves in, like, Barnes & Noble and shit. Because I feel like that would, like, get it in front of a bigger audience, which is something that I ultimately want. But my main priority is that my audience I already have, I want them to be able to read it. You know, that was what would make me happy. But yeah, so my goal right now is I would like to, I've kind of pivoted over to just working on an outline for the time being for the story. Because I'm still trying to figure out like the exact sequence of events and like when I want certain things to happen and how I want certain things to go down and all this other stuff. And so I'm thinking I'll try and get as much of an outline as I can done before NaNoWriMo, and then during NaNoWriMo, I will write as much as I can of the first draft. And I would like to make a video about the NaNoWriMo experience when I am finished. But I don't know if that one would come out in December. Because, like, I think my November video is going to be an edited stream highlight for that, like, comics Q&A that I did a while back. Just so that I don't have to worry about video production when I'm supposed to be writing. And then I do want to do my journaling video, like my big journaling video before the end of the year. And so I think that'll probably end up being my December video. And so if I did a NaNoWriMo video, it probably would not be until like January, maybe. But I almost worry is like, is that not going to be topical anymore? Is it too far away? I don't know. I just gotta figure it out. But also, if I plan YouTube videos too far ahead, my brain gets all... my head hurts. I think we'll probably wrap the stream here pretty soon. Because I have not planned colors for this image yet. And also, I'm very ahead. I'm probably not going to finish working on this until after Lightbox. But we're getting there. We are getting there. I think I want this to kind of have like a neutral kind of beigey color palette. And then all the kitties will just... Ow. Yeah, I still gotta decide. Oh, I gotta do Sage's glasses. Whip. This is my cheaty art hacks way of drawing him glasses. Behold. You rasterize, you convert brightness to opacity, and then you go you add like the perspective a little bit. Kaye. And then you just erase the parts that you don't need. Yippee! There we go. Sage and all him kitties. So here, before we break, I'll tell you guys which cat is supposed to be who. I feel like a lot of them are obvious, and I feel like some of them are not. They will be more obvious once colors get added. So this one up here this is gonna be Marina Cat. This one up here, that's Vector Cat. I feel like this one's the most obvious. This is Frankie. This one's gonna be Liam. That's gonna be Zeracat. That's Rory, Sonia, Taryn, Ariana, and I don't know, somebody else. I don't know, some other guy. I don't know who that is. I just felt like there needed to be a cat up there. Anyway, happy Cats Off, everybody. We're gonna go ahead and call it there for the day. I will probably stream this one more time, but not until after Lightbox. I'll stream the coloring of this probably at the end of the month, like the last week of October. So I will keep you guys updated on that. But until then, we are going to go ahead and call it for the night because I'm hungry and I want to go eat dinner. So thank you guys for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed stream. I hope you guys thank you guys for keeping me company while I did some kitty coloring. But I hope you guys enjoy your weekend, and I will go watch my new video if you haven't already. Go read my webcomic if you haven't already. And if you've already done both of those things, then, I don't know, go listen to Magnus Archives, because I'm probably going to be drawing some crossover fan art over the weekend, because I'm yapping. But yeah, so thank you guys for joining me. I will see you all next time, Petty Whale friends. Goodbye!